Good morning, everyone. This is Nicole, and I've already seen the videos about typhus from the Radical Home Sister and from Lisa Cabrera. And I wanted to thank them for doing those videos because I have not heard anything about typhus here in LA. I know a lot of us do live here in LA. Aaron, the real Aaron Collins, Ann lives here. Not Radical. She's in New Jersey. Hood Mistress Reloaded lives here. Audio Discourse and several others are here in the LA, Southern California area. So we have not seen anything about this at a high level that it should be. On YouTube, there are videos, there are clips if you type in typhus. And so my question was, I thought that was typhoid fever, which is associated with developing countries with contaminated food and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you all, just for, I guess, a refresher, the difference between typhoid and typhus. So they both have the typh as the prefix of the word. So for hundreds of years, both of these diseases have plagued the world. The two diseases affect millions of people every year, including travelers. So you're traveling around the world, different places that don't have vaccines or proper treatment, you could be infected. So many people don't know the difference, and I'm just on my own realizing that, well, I didn't really understand the difference either. Typhoid, as I said earlier, is a foodborne illness that infects about 21 million people a year. It's transmitted through contaminated food or water, and the symptoms develop within 3 weeks. And the reason why they say through food or water, because if you have contaminated water and you rinse the vegetables and fruits off in that water, then of course your food is now contaminated. So the symptoms are usually mild but can be serious. More than 200,000 people die from typhoid every year. They do have a typhoid vaccine, which is what I thought this was originally. And I was thinking, okay, it can't be an outbreak if they have a vaccine for it, right? Because they love pushing these vaccines. Typhus is flea-borne disease, and that affects thousands of people every year. They say here it's often found in the colder, mountainous regions of Africa, South America, and Asia. Like typhoid, it most commonly occurs in areas where overcrowding and poor hygiene are common. The World Health Organization does not have a vaccine against typhus in its registry. However, the WHO does note the risk is low for travelers. Humanitarian relief workers, though, may be susceptible to the illness. They say what makes typhoid and typhus different. Despite having fairly similar names, typhoid and typhus have little in common. One major similarity, and why many have thought them to be the same disease for so long, is the symptoms. You get the same type of symptoms with typhus or typhoid. And these are the similar symptoms you get with the flu as well, influenza, salmonella poisoning, E. coli poisoning, contamination from food or air, water, soil, and so forth. There's even a story I'm going to do soon about a man who died in New Jersey. I think he was in New Jersey, from a flesh or brain eating amoeba, which is very strange to have encephalitis symptoms from amoeba that he got at a freshwater water park. So I do believe that Fukushima and a lot of the radioactive isotopes that have contaminated the ocean, such as the Pacific Ocean, are making these symptoms and these diseases more virulent and more invasive. Of course, there's no research on that specifically, and they will not say that specifically for fear of I guess, litigation. but that's just my hypothesis. I agree with the radical sister that is a possibility. So they have typhus, stomach pain, of course, abdominal pain, stomach issues. You have the nausea, rash, high fever, cough, headache, joint and muscle pain, chills, confusion, and low blood pressure. Typhoid, abdominal tenderness, agitation, bloody stool, chills, confusion, delirium, hallucinations, nosebleeds, and fatigue. So I think that typhoid is a more gradual disease, because it can go on for weeks and maybe months at a time. And I think the reason why people die from it, they don't get immediate treatment. They also dehydrate. With typhus, you have people that can die from it due to high fever and a low blood pressure. And that can take you out, because a high fever, where your brain can't process this high temperature, it'll shut your body down. That can put you in a coma, in combination with a low blood pressure. That will put you in a coma if it's not taken care of immediately. And sometimes these diseases are misdiagnosed as well. So you have to be careful. So the vector of typhoid infection is foodborne, whereas typhus, as I said earlier, is flea-borne. There's different treatments. Of course, fluids, electrolytes, sometimes low-grade antibiotics. Some people need intravenous fluids or even oxygen because they can't breathe well. Their blood pressure is low. Prevention is through vaccination. I don't know about all that. Because I'm not vaccinated for this, and I don't have it. A lot of us aren't vaccinated for this, typhoid or typhus, and we don't have it. You can avoid contaminated food and water sources. That's a lot better than, I think, vaccination. Typhus prevention is more difficult because it requires repellents and insecticides. The number one thing with typhus or typhoid is maintaining proper hygiene. So that is the main thing. People is nasty as hell. That's what they're saying. In general, people are nasty as hell. That's why I don't like eating at these restaurants and stuff. People go in the bathroom, wipe their ass, and come out and want to make a sandwich for you. I don't like that. Okay, so I just left the grocery store, and I, spent money on, good organic foods. Information Man just did a show last night talking about men's health, specifically for boosting testosterone and being balanced, because too much testosterone is not as good either, but because it is a hormone. But maintaining balance with the right minerals and vitamins and stuff. So I'm getting those minerals and vitamins mostly from my food, but I know that I cooked it the right way. So this, it's a pretty good article. They have some contact information at the bottom, but I also wanted to show some news clips. When I googled typhus epidemic, there was one article that just came out, because you can see they have several of the articles here: CBS, NBC, Forbes, ABC News, Boing Boing, and NBC News. So I know Boing Boing is not popular, but I clicked on it based on the title. They're saying LA's homelessness epidemic has created a typhus epidemic. And this was kind of what I was thinking when they talked about where the epidemic was occurring, because the number of homeless people is growing. Is way more homeless people here than there were 4 years ago when I first got here. So LA County has over 100,000 homeless people, and that, of course, is thanks to a real estate bubble. We all know that people are being priced out of housing through gentrification. And although there are programs to reduce homelessness, this has been incoherent and unwilling to take the only proven step to reducing homelessness. I mean, you have empty homes all over LA County, and there are people who just cannot afford these homes or apartments. So what they're doing here is renovating old hotels that need to be refurbished, that have asbestos, and they're not at code, so no one can stay there. They're uninhabitable. And what they're doing is they're fixing those up. They're getting donations from people. They're getting grants to fix those up and have people live there for free that are homeless. So the circumstances that are leading to these housing bubbles and homelessness are described as a set of individual choices and thus individual responsibility. And they're going into like the housing and all this. So the epidemic of the typhus fever spread from flea feces into humans through contact with broken skin or mucous membranes has struck LA as a reminder that housing is our shared responsibility and homelessness is an unevenly shared tragedy that afflicts everyone. I have to believe that some of this could be due to homelessness. However, when you have this occurring, it's in downtown LA, which is where Skid Row is located. But you have people that live around Skid Row in $1,800 one bedroom apartment homes, the $1,800 a month. And those people who can afford that aren't rushing to the hospital. You know, people in West Hollywood, and Beverly Hills, they're not getting it. So I don't know if the housing thing really has much to do with it as much. And you have people in Long Beach and Pasadena that are getting it in those areas. I don't know if it has much to do with the housing as it does with the environment, changes in the environment itself. This article is written by someone who says they had typhus. They lost 40 pounds in 6 weeks, running fever so high they hallucinated while their joints ached and their ears rang so loud they couldn't hear. So this person is going into detail, but what they went through when they had this disease. But overall, I'm thinking that it could be attributed to homelessness. It could also be attributed to changes in the environment. I would like to believe that it's more about changes in the environment because, like I said, you have it in Pasadena, you have it in downtown LA, and you have it in Long Beach, occurring in Long Beach, California. You had 12 cases in Long Beach, as they say here, this year. And it's not like it has much to do with the weather either. This is a breeding ground for certain diseases because we don't have like specific seasons. You don't have seasons. It's always hot. It's probably going to be 80 degrees today, you know, and it's October. In December, it'll probably be 85 degrees. You know, Christmas Day, it'll probably be 85 degrees. People will probably be at the beach. So it doesn't have much to do, I don't think it has as much to do with the homelessness issue as it does with the environment. So if I spoke about that more earlier, I take that back. I'm thinking it's more of the environment. But, you know, I could be wrong. It's just a hypothesis. You all let me know what you think about this story in the comment section, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Maybe I'll come back with a follow-up video and give you more information. But these are just my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think. Have a great day.